LoveLine is meant for an adult audience. LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion advised. Now, here's LoveLine. 1-800-LOVE-191. With Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
What? Are you insane?
From the Scream movies, right? We had him in here.
The first one. He was the killer in the first one.
Right.
Where did we meet him?
We either had him in on this or we had him in on the TV.
TV show.
TV. Okay.
All right.
Well,
then
that's a good example of...
we don't know where we are. Remy Zero will be in here. They just got married. Did the entire band marry, what's her name from Who's the Boss?
Milano, the whole band.
The whole band married her.
No,
Drew, just the lead singer.
Is she coming?
No.
That's good radio, though, Drew.
Well, because she never recovered from an experience she had on this show. How many years ago?
About 12 years ago.
I was not here. And the cast of Zoe, Duncan, Jack, and Jane. This is a new sitcom that's out on what,
WB.
UPN? WB. Never heard of it before Thursday. Have not stopped hearing about it since.
Is that
I mean,
right?
they launched some sort of campaign. Actually, a representative from WB actually came over this morning, woke me up, and sat me down, and explained to me about the show. It is that extensive.
Yeah, they're really behind it, so it should be interesting.
But am I right that you hadn't heard or seen anything about this show up until about 3 days ago, and then it's just been nonstop?
I've been aware of it for a little bit longer.
Really? Well, you're hip. You know about the bands. You know what's going on. She knows all about the WB.
Speaking of unhip,
yeah,
that would be us in our experience of the media world, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get into that?
I want to trigger you, yeah.
All right, thank you. And then I got to get into spending the entire weekend looking for my plane out in the field. An entire weekend trudging through weeds and briars, and when I mean up to my chin, I mean up to my chin. Not since Vietnam have I experienced this sort of thing.
Why'd you lose altitude? And what happened?
All right, let me tell you about what happened to the plane first, and then we'll get. And I guess you want to talk about Pam Anderson later on. We'll get to that. As you know, once in a while I bring up my hobbies, flying these little model remote control airplanes, but I'm really not much good at it. And I do a lot of crashing.
Is this your new one, the Mustang?
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. So many hours into that. Oh, so many hours.
Some other guy you were paying.
Oh, no. I built this thing, retracts the whole 9 yards. Anyway, it had a little problem with the trim. I don't want to bore everyone with the details, but these things are really hard to fly, and I'm not that good. But my whole thing is I got to keep moving further than what I'm good at, otherwise I'll get bored with it.
Right.
The point is this thing took off, it went south, and it went down, and it's just a huge field. And the field is just sort of like some swamp and some birds and some stuff up to your chin, just dead stuff up to your chin. And it went down. I had it narrowed down to about a 3/4 mile area. But you could literally walk past the thing and be 4 to 8 feet from the thing if it was buried in the thick, and you would walk right past it. Now, the thing about these planes is the plane's gone. I mean, the plane itself, the body.
You need to get one of these little, avalanche finders. You know, they put on people's coats and things.
Believe me, after it's gone, you start coming up with all sorts of ideas about what you should have done.
Right.
But I didn't have that at the time. And because when you build the thing, you're never going to crash it. So the plane itself has an engine, has a receiver, has servos, has batteries on it. The plane itself is about $150, $200, but it has about $300 worth of stuff strapped onto it that theoretically you can get and put on the next plane you crash. So you really should go out and find it. Me and about 5 guys went out looking for it, found nothing for about an hour, and it's a long time to tromp around through the woods. That was yesterday. I got my ass up this morning on Sunday at about 7 and went back to go look for it again. This time I had a plan.
In terms of how you're going to zigzag across? Yeah.
Totally retarded. I stuffed an 8-foot ladder into the back of my car, and I brought a pair of binoculars. Now, my plan was, And this is right by the side of the road. There's like a major highway going through this place. So people are jogging and rollerblading and driving by, and you're looking like, the world's biggest a-hole out there. But my plan was I was going to set this 8-foot ladder up. Like the band conductor does at halftime of the football game when he's leading the band. I was going to get up on this thing, and I was going to get some binoculars, and I was going to scan the area.
How about if you had the 5 guys back, you could direct them where to go?
Let me tell you about those 5 guys. Yeah. I had those 5 guys for the first 15 minutes, and then they all got bored and split because you only want to. It's literally as if somebody pointed at your neighbor's hedge and told you just to walk through it, essentially. I was not going to give up, though, and me and my good buddy Chris were out there. I actually set the ladder up on the side of the road, then set the ladder up in the middle of the field and started. One guy jogged past me, and he went, "You looking for deer?" I just said, yeah, because, I felt like a bigger a-hole looking for my plane. And, of course, everyone who knows me is driving by honking the horn and stuff because, the 5th plane I've crashed out there. So I'm looking all over the plane, and I'm on each side of the road, and I'm covering an area. Now, I mean, like, when they went out and looked for Amelia Earhart, a little bit bigger than that area I have now covered on foot on a Sunday morning, 7:30 in the morning, just walking with crap in my shoes up, getting scratched, just finding nothing, finding old balloons. Actually found a few pieces from other planes I've crashed. That's a bad sign, by the way. Actually then found 3 other planes.
Wow.
3 planes that had not been found, that had all the junk in them.
So you got what you were looking for anyway.
Well, wait a second now.
People claim these.
One of them has been out there for years, and it's totally corroded. It's got like a huge trapdoor spider living in it that almost killed me out in the field. They would have never found my body, by the way, if I'd gone down in that field. The other one is in semi-decent shape. It's been out there for a few months. Now, again, it's $150 worth of engine, $200 worth of radio on these things. So they're worth something to someone. The guy puts his phone number on his plane in a little tag, and I'm thinking, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I got to call this guy now. His plane's been out there for 3 months. I find the thing. Still got the good radio, the good engine. I'm thinking, hey, I'll just take this plane because this will be enough.
No, you can't.
I mean, no. But the guy's got the phone. I've never seen it done before. He's got the phone number. The plane has been out there for so long that his name and address and everything are all wiped away from this little paper stick-on. It's like something you stick on an envelope. But he writes his phone number in ballpoint.
Oh.
That's a tip for everybody. Use that ballpoint. Call the guy up Sunday. He answers the phone, actually. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'm standing out in the field on a cell phone. I got your plane. He takes a beat for a minute. Red one? Yeah. Out in the field? Uh-huh. He goes, did you get the number from the plane? I said, no, I'm just playing a hunch. I figured it'd be in the 818 area code, Oh, boy. I called several 100,000 people before I got to you. What I did is I started a grid. I figured it'd be somewhere in the San Fernando Valley. Please, did you get the number off the plane? So he comes down there and he gets his plane. And now I don't have my plane. The other one I found is all corroded. But he gives me $40. I thought that was nice. Actually, I gave my friend $40. I gave him 20. I probably wouldn't have accepted the 40, but the guy wanted to give $40. Now I'm thrashing around. I find another plane. This time, there's like a field rat living in the plane. There's feces, and it had eaten away, stuff. I mean, it's like, remember that movie Alive?
Yeah.
If you think about it, you got this huge, big big pile of crap. I mean, this big field full of nothing, and here's this nice piece of plastic, and it's insulated, and you can crawl right in. It was like a, $500 Habitrail piece that had fallen into the thing. There's crap and everything. Anyway, dust that away. Now I got a plane.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'm going to take this thing. The engine's not as good as mine and all that. So I go to but now I've been out in the field for 3 hours just trouncing around. I said, listen, I'm done. I'm going home. I don't know what to do, but I'm going home. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. But I got a receiver. I got the servos. I got the radio, and I got the engine. Now, my buddy, I give Chris the engine. I said, look, you were out here spending hours trouncing around with me. I make more money than you do. Take the engine. He goes, okay. I'm going to take the engine. I'm going to go back to the airfield. I'm going to see if anyone wants to buy it. You know, it's a $85, $90 engine. I'll see if I can get $40 for it, so the day's not a bust. And the people sell stuff sometimes on Sundays out there. So he goes out there to sell my engine and sees a guy with the blanket spread out. And he's got a few parts on it. And he comes across an engine, a familiar-looking engine. Now, here's how you can always tell my engines. My engines are, I personally modify them, usually by busting off all the fins from the head of it from sliding it on its belly because I've collapsed the landing gear coming in too hard and the plane is dragging on the ground. So not only were the fins all busted off the head of the thing, but the needle valve adjustment arm had been broken off as well from a prior crash. So this guy, between the busted needle valve and the fins off the engine, he knew it was my engine, my buddy.
Yeah.
The guy wanted $60 for it. So he said, "Where'd you get it?" And the guy was a little hesitant. He finally pointed a guy out. He went over and shook the guy down, and the guy was like stuttering and telling him he didn't know what he was talking about. But eventually opened the guy's knapsack, and he got my retracts and servos and landing gear, got it all back. So he went and got it all back. Total vindication, everybody. Plane's dust, of course. But now I got an extra receiver and some gear, you know. Really made me feel good about myself. I felt like the world's biggest a-hole, second day in a row, just trouncing through a field. Just mindlessly trouncing through a field.
Some other guy ran out in front of you and just got it and let you go through the field for 2 full days.
I don't know.
Oh, yes. Of course that's what happened. They scurried out there, grabbed it, and got the hell out of there.
Not necessarily. It was deep. It wasn't even where I was looking.
All right.
But it was close to that. Okay. We'll take some calls. We'll talk about Pam Anderson
and our experience.
And our weekend experience in a few minutes. Kenny.
Yeah.
You're 16.
Yeah.
What's going on?
First I'd like to say, Adam, you kick ass, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like you a lot, dude. I listen to your show every day. But my question is for actually Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Kenny, what's up?
I had oral sex with my girlfriend about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And about 3 days ago, I noticed these cold sore-like things in my mouth. And I was wondering if that could be anything.
On your cheek or lip?
No, like on my lip, and I got like a couple on my upper and bottom lip.
Have you ever had anything like that before?
No, I haven't.
You've never had cold sores before?
No, I've had cold sores, like one, but I've never had this many.
Why do you get them when you're a kid and then not so often when you're an adult? And how come when you get them when you're a kid, it doesn't mean you have herpes?
You do. That's basically a herpes virus. And all these viruses burn themselves out with time. They come less and less frequently.
Well, is it like warts? You know, when you're a kid, you get warts, and then when you're an adult, you don't get warts until you've been with hookers?
I suppose it's possibly that, but these are all caused by viruses.
It's really
you're
weird,
exposed
though.
to viruses early in life, and they burn themselves out.
All the junk you got for when you were a kid comes back, but now it's in a venereal disease form later on in life.
It just concentrates in a certain
all
place.
The warts and cold sores and whatnot.
But Kenny, has your girlfriend been with anybody else?
Not that I know of.
All right, so you can irritate your mouth and tongue and trigger cold sores to occur in someone who already has that virus. I'd actually be more concerned that you transmitted something to her than she gave something to you.
I've never really had sex before. I had sex one other occasion, but
I understand, but you have had cold sores on your mouth, and that's how herpes gets down there, off of people's mouths.
Okay.
And so you may be more likely to transmit something to her than she something to you.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So it's just when you irritate the line of your mouth, these cold sores tend to develop.
Meta?
Hello?
What's going on there, Meta? You're 14.
Yeah, well, I have these health problems, like, I've had 3 of them, and I feel, I'm gonna...
Hold on a second. You have what now?
I have these health problems.
What are they?
I have RP.
Retinitis pigmentosa?
Yeah. And I have hypotonia, and I've been anemic.
Hypertonia?
Hypotonia.
Hypotonia.
And, well...
Is that when you work out too much?
Huh?
It's the other opposite.
No.
Low tone, hypotonia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And,
I think my family has that.
So you have some sort of neurologic condition causing that,
yeah.
right?
And, well, I feel like I have a bad psychosis, because I feel like I'm gonna kill myself.
So you're depressed.
Yeah.
Right. Have you asked anybody to help you with that?
No.
How come?
Well, it's not only my health problems. I have RP is defective vision, right? So
Yeah, right. But
Hold on a second.
Retinitis pigmentosa is a progressive loss of vision, where vision sort of shrinks down, and people live a long time with functional vision and can live a normal life. I mean, it's a troubling condition, but it doesn't have to be total devastation.
Okay, what about hypotona?
I don't know what.
What is hypotona?
Just decreased muscle tone. There must be some syndrome that she has due to what, I don't know.
What would hypertonia be like if you taught aerobics?
Yeah, I guess.
What is
Hypertonia would be spasticity, really. You'd have spasticity.
All right, define hyper. To me,
too much.
Okay. Or fast, or just too much?
And fast.
Okay. And hypo?
Too little.
Hypo's too little.
Yeah.
But what about hypodermic?
Beneath the skin.
All right, so is hypo too little, or is it beneath? Oh, too little beneath, like beneath a certain level?
Below.
All right. I really should just move to Mexico. This whole English thing is not worked out for me at all.
Over, yeah.
It just hasn't worked. It's like, listen, everybody, learn to speak English sometime between like 1 and 18,
or
you're effed.
Not 1 and 18, like 1 and 8.
1 and 8.
Yeah.
Listen, working with clay, not as important as learning English.
Come on. That's the man telling you that.
No.
Come on, Adam. You know that's just some sort of, you've never proven that.
I know, but I can when you like go to the supermarket and you just point at things and grunt. You don't even know that you can't even articulate yourself. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
Meta. All right, so you're 14, you got all kinds of horrible stuff going on.
And I guess ever since like the third or fourth grade, I've wanted to fly in space. I wanted to be an astronaut, and I've started taking it seriously since like a few months before.
All right, listen.
I got diagnosed, and I can't ever be a pilot, and I've been
because
my mom's never encouraged me for anything.
Because of the retinitis pigmentosa.
Yeah, and my hypotonia, because I've been anemic.
What's the platonia?
Hypotonia.
Oh, hypotonia.
All right, look.
Building an animal.
You need.
Well,
you've had some medical care. You need to tell the caretakers that you're having a mood problem also, because you don't have to suffer like this. Things seem overwhelming because of the state you're in, not because of the reality of these conditions you have.
And let me say a few things. Everyone wanted to be an astronaut for 5 minutes at some time or another. It passes. Are you? What's your nationality?
I'm African American.
And you're female, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I would do. I would sue the government to let you go into space. I think you could get away with it. I really do in this day and age. And you could sue them for letting someone with a vision impairment not being able to pilot a spaceship. I think you'd probably win that one too. All right, baby. You got a bunch of stuff going on, and let me tell you what it's going to turn out to be. It's going to be one of those things where, she overcame this and she overcame that.
Right. And look what she's doing now.
That's right.
Yeah, but in the meantime...
it's a bitch. We understand that.
But you're suffering excessively right now, and you really do need to get some professional guidance and assistance with this, because it doesn't have to be this bad. And taking care of your mood problem is as important as taking care of your medical problems, because that's what's going to hold you back right now. The medical conditions are going to be certainly things you're going to have to overcome, but I suspect you will.
All right, Meta?
Okay.
Take care of yourself, would you?
Okay, bye.
All right. Take care.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. I want to be an astronaut. Did you ever want to be an astronaut, Drew?
No, never.
My whole thing was, and this is really where my whole life has gone wrong, I wanted to be in space but not be an astronaut. Meaning, I didn't want to strap into anything and launch myself anywhere. I just wanted to bounce around, play golf on the moon.
Oh, I see. You just wanted to be
it's
weightless.
Well, if you really think about it, it's sort of a metaphor for me and just about everyone I grew up with in the Valley, which would definitely be a cool thing to be up on the moon, jumping around in a weightless environment or almost weightless environment. But being on the centrifuge, spinning around at 3,000 RPMs, and working in some big tank of water for months and months beforehand didn't sound like a good time.
I saw Rocket Man. It looked like fun.
Did you see Rocket Man?
Yeah.
Your kids made you
My
see
kids,
it?
yeah.
Was that movie any good?
It's cute.
It was?
I'm becoming an expert on kids' films, you understand.
I got all these movies now. I saw Shakespeare in Love
Over the
today.
weekend, yeah.
And my grandma's got them on tape. My grandfather.
Oh, right.
My grandfather's a member of the Academy.
Right.
He was nominated for an Academy Award for. It was either The Affairs of Susan or The Mole People. I'm trying to think. I'm going with The Affairs of Susan, but the point is, and let me just tell you something about life. Another thing about life. My grandfather, he wrote a few movies. He was a good guy. He got nominated for an Academy Award. He had some achievement in his life. He wrote a piece of crap called The Mole People in 1953. That's what he's remembered for.
For The Mole People.
Anyone who, then once in a while, he gets a residual check. He gets a letter from one of these screwball sci-fi guys who want him to sign something or send something.
Wow.
The mole, do you understand how life works now?
Yeah.
The Mole People. Something that he was sort of embarrassed by becomes his, claim to fame. But the point is, he's not my blood grandfather either. So those of you who try to say, you must have some sensibility, some comedic timing because of him. No, a real guy was abusive, shorter cook, alcoholic guy.
Ooh, that does sound like you did.
Grandma had to run for that make a run from. Now that's better. But the point is he's in the Academy. And they get all the movies each year. So I go over there and borrow them, and they got all of them. They got the Thin Red Line. Name a movie that came out,
Nice.
whenever. Patch Adams, whatever it is, it's all over there. Problem is the Mandels come over there and they hoard them. I go over there, I go, I want to see the Thin Red. Jules Mandel borrowed. Oh, for Christ's sake. Jules took 5 movies. What? 5 movies? Jules, he claims him and Trudy, his wife, are 2 people and that they should. Oh, that's the biggest load of crap.
God.
Come on, Grandma.
Loves that kind of logic.
That goddamn Jules Mandel is not going to be back for 2 months. It'll be out on video by the time he brings that thing. Well, he wanted to borrow. Oh, for Christ's sake. Meanwhile, I got to leave my license. I want to borrow a movie from there. It's like checking out a ball at the park. All right. So anyway, I got some good movies. What the hell's going on here, Drew?
We're going to break.
Oh, we are?
Yeah. When we get back.
Yeah, when we get back, we got an update. Tiffany was accused of killing her dad. She's off the hook now.
I vaguely remember this.
You do?
Yeah, vaguely.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, kind of. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
LoveLine. Be right back in a minute. WEBN.
We're not keeping you up, are we?
I'm pitching a tent.
Oh, that's good. It's LoveLine.
WEBN.
This guy, makes millions wrenching now. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to study broadcasting. Oh, boy.
Hey, it's the LoveLine. I'm Adam Carolla. That is the Dr. Drew over there. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Bad Religion will be in here tomorrow night. All right, let's just clear up this little LoveLine Pam Anderson thing before we get rolling along, because I know Drew. So here's the thing. Drew's as pissed about a lot of things as I am. He just don't want to say anything, and he knows I'll start mouthing off. So why bother?
No, I got behind you on this one.
You got behind me, but
I wasn't leading the charge.
Well, let me explain what it's like. It's like you're a couple of kids. There's 2 kids. And you go into a liquor store, and you both want candy just as bad. But the one kid knows the other kid's going to rip off all the candy. So, instead of getting caught yourself ripping off candy, why not just stand out in the alley and wait for me to come out with the candy? You get your candy anyway, and if something happens, I'm the one who's going to juvie.
It's not quite that bad. But
it's close.
It's
close.
Yeah, similar.
Okay.
No, I was mouthing off a little bit, too.
After I got Drew worked up.
Yeah.
I got Drew worked up like when you work a dog up, when you take its belly and you go, and the thing just starts growling at the moon. That's how I got Drew. So here's what happened. Let's see, where do we start? We're doing the TV show on Friday, and Pam Anderson and the rest of the guests, gals from VIP, are supposed to be on the LoveLine TV show. And I guess they've been working to get her on the show for quite some time. Is that true, Drew?
Evidently.
Yes. And Drew has a publicist. And for people who don't know what publicists do or who publicists are, let me explain how that world works. You know when you turn on the TV and all you see is like Jennifer Love Hewitt on every goddamn channel for like 3 weeks? She's over here, she's over there, there's Entertainment Tonight, there's Jennifer Love Hewitt mania, and you think to yourself, hey, who cares? Who cares? I mean, she's an attractive girl, but there's 1,000 other attractive. She's got a publicist. And her publicist is ramming this stuff up the ass of everybody around the nation.
And that publicist must have somebody else, which is why they take it.
That publicist also handles Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. And they say to the chick who's booking the Tonight Show, how about you put Jennifer Love Hewitt on? And they say, no, we had her 3 months ago. We're going to wait another 3 months. And then they go, if you don't put Jennifer on, you're not going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We'll talk to David about Arnold.
Yes, and then they go, okay, we'll put her on. And that's how publicists work. And you've heard me yell about these. They're sort of enablers. They're people that don't do anything. 100 years ago, they'd be working on a railroad. And building it in one big circle, by the way, so that the trains actually ran into each other.
It's also part of that whole middle world that really controls what people watch on television that people don't know about.
Right.
The whole representation, management, all that whole world there that controls what goes on.
You people have no idea what goes on behind the scenes and why, and it really ultimately affects the product. So. Anyway, they're people I'm not fond of, and I've been asked to sign one up a time or two and to have one working on my camp, and I always say, no, I'm not doing it. And people go, ooh, it would further your career along, too. And I always tell them, listen, if I went and killed Tim Allen and Martin Short, I'd probably move along a little faster, too, but I have some morals. You understand? And
but nonetheless, a plan to kill them.
Shh.
All right, sorry.
Please, Drew, people thought I was kidding.
Right.
The point is this. No, I'll kill myself when I find out. Tim Allen makes like 1.2 million or something a show. 1.1 or 1.2 like an episode he makes. That guy's not funny. He ain't funny. And I know twice as much about wood as that guy. Jesus Christ. It's pathetic. But the point is he probably has a good publicist. So here's the deal. They got these horrible publicists. And Drew's has a publicist. God, why? I don't know why Drew has a publicist, but Drew got talked.
Because I was instructed to get one.
Drew got talked into a publicist.
I don't know anything about this business, so people instruct me to do something.
Hey, they instructed me to get one, too, and I started yelling.
You have a life.
I do not. I'm just good, so I don't need one.
I see.
Listen, you know why you use publicists? When you're not that good and you want to get booked on shows.
So
let's face it. So they're horrible people, these publicists. So anyway, Drew's publicist, well, actually we don't get along that well. I've yelled at them on 3 or 4 occasions. I really treat them like they're mine.
Yes.
It's just scary. And they're about ready to kill me, those people. But Drew's publicist is Pam Anderson's publicist. And so they came out, and Pam was supposed to do the TV show on Friday, and Pam was late. And the way we do these TV shows is we do 4 of them in a day, and we have them scheduled pretty tightly. And if someone holds one up, it holds the next one up, obviously. And she was scheduled for show number 3. Mark and Stan were coming out from, they were number 2?
She was number 2.
Ooh, yeah, she was number 2. Anyway, Mark and Stan from Sugar Ray were coming out next, and we didn't want to hold those guys up and all this kind of stuff. Well, Pam was late. The other 2 girls from VIP were there, but Pam was late. Now, we've done another show with Pam where we had to wait around for her to show up, which was the Donnie and Marie show. When Drew and I did that, we were waiting for Pam. Pam was going on before us, and the whole deal was we couldn't get started because Pam was not there yet. Now, Drew and I have complained on many occasions that we get to these other shows and we have to show up 2 hours early. If you tape at noon on a Wednesday, they want you there at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday because all the people show up late, they show up drunk, they show up high, whatever it is, they don't want to deal with it. I mean, they send a limo, and if tape time is 4 o'clock, they pick you up at noon. And you sit there for 2.5 hours like a goddamn lummox. And we always say to them, listen, we're professional. Tell us when to be here. We will be here. It'll take us 20 minutes in hair and makeup, and we'll gladly walk right out there. If the show starts at 2, we'll show up at 1:15. Plenty of time. No, we got to show up at noon or 11 o'clock. And it's because...
And we do.
Oh,
every time.
All right. Well, not me anymore.
Yeah,
that's it with that.
Yeah, I'm with you on
that. I'm done with that BS. But the point is Pam Anderson shows up late to everything she does. And so I said, she showed up late to another thing, and we pretty much figured out, I don't want to mention any names, we talked to a couple of people in Pam's camp, and she's late to everything she goes to. Everything. So I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the show. And she can show up when she shows up, but we're starting the show. And the reason she's late to everything she does is because you people all sit around and excuse it. You wait like idiots. You treat her like a prima donna. You treat her like a child from the Twilight Zone episode where she's going to wish you into the cornfield, you pussies. And you all sit there with your thumb in your ass, and then when she shows up, you don't even mention anything.
Can you imagine if we
Meanwhile, hold on, Drew, I'm on a roll.
All right.
You got the audience, you got crew, you got a whole bunch of people getting paid a whole bunch of money. I mean, when you start working out the hourly rate on a TV show in terms of holding up, you got a bunch of union guys working cameras, you got a bunch of executives, you got a bunch of security, you got a bunch of whatever. I mean, you might be talking about $5,000 for a half hour, 20 minutes, or
easily.
It's cha-ching.
Easily.
Cha-ching.
You might be talking about 30,000.
Yeah, for the studio.
Yeah.
And, well, that's not our show, but maybe Donnie.
Yeah, a real show.
Maybe Donnie and Marie. Yeah, our show. We actually owe you money. But the point is she's not showing up and no one's saying a word. So I go into Drew's dressing room.
Can you imagine if you showed up late on a construction site or me late on a hospital? It's just unthinkable.
You would get fired and they'd sodomize you.
And they'd hold you accountable for anything that happened as a result of your being late.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
Your fault.
But not in TV because you're Pam Anderson and everyone's scared to say anything to you, which I can't figure out in life. I mean, she's just some chick from Baywatch. You can't pipe up. Publicists won't pipe up. Producers won't pipe up. No one will pipe up. Now, I don't even blame Pam Anderson. Pam Anderson's just late, and Pam Anderson just does what I would do if I showed up everywhere late, and no one said anything.
You show up late.
I have friends who do that. They make a living out of doing that. They don't hold up productions, but they're half hour late to everything they go to. I don't blame her at all. She's just a chick from Baywatch who shows up late. I blame everyone else. So I said, here's what we're going to do. I got Drew out of his dressing room, and I started yelling at everybody. I hope I wasn't yelling too loud.
You were yelling pretty loud. Why?
I don't know. I don't want to embarrass. I said,
you embarrass everybody. Don't worry.
I said, listen, all of you, go to your station. You go to the booth. You go behind the camera. We're starting this show, and we're starting this show now. She's not here. I don't care where she is. We've been waiting around for a half hour like a bunch of idiots. Let's go do our jobs. She can kiss my ass.
Well, no, they started the show.
Well, I got another and then I started yelling. No, I didn't know I had that much power. Well, as it turns out, I didn't. But I started yelling at everyone, go to the booth. Shut up. Go do your job. Get behind the camera. Stop being a pussy. Start having some backbone. Stop being an enabler. Let's go. We're all not going to get our ass kicked by this silicone bitch. Let's go. I got everyone to their position, and we sat, and we got in the show, and we started the show. Now, Pam Anderson is not here yet, and we started the show. And what did we do when we started the show, Drew?
Like anything in LoveLine, we talked about what we were feeling and what we just happened to us and where we were at. And we talked about this. And we said, basically, we're going to walk the walk now and not just talk the talk. And we're not going to be enablers anymore. And Pam will be here in a few minutes. And when she comes out, we'll welcome her out. In the meantime, we're going to go on with the show.
I said, listen, Pamela Anderson's going to be our guest. Pamela Anderson is not here. We got tired of waiting for her. She does have a reputation of showing up late. And we've learned from this show, we don't want to be enablers.
Yeah.
So we're going to start the show, hopefully teach her a valuable lesson in the meantime, and she'll show up when she shows up.
And we just go, now to our first caller.
So not our first call.
Hold.
Stop the cameras.
Hold.
Okay.
Hold. Adam Drew, over here.
No, it wasn't Adam Drew over here.
It was Adam.
Now Adam is on the stage.
Adam goes, you come with me, you can get your ass kicked too.
Yelling like a madman on stage, yelling at everybody, yelling that everyone's a pussy and everything is this. Had to stop the show because now I started yelling. What did the publicist say to stop?
Yes, you screamed that.
I started yelling, did the publicist make us stop this show? And everyone yelled no, because if they yelled yes, I was going to storm into that thing and whack her on the head with a clipboard.
You would have knocked over the video wall and everything.
God, these publicists. The point is,
it wasn't about her.
We had to stop the show because we weren't going to badmouth Pamela Anderson. And my thing was I didn't badmouth anybody. She's late. Do you understand that, you idiots, you spineless pussies? What the hell is wrong with you, Hollywood people? She is late. She's effing all of us. Do you understand that? There's 150 people with their thumb in their goddamn ass because this chick can't haul her ass out of the limo.
It's not her fault. Right?
Well, I blame her parents.
Right.
No, it's not her fault. It's our fault for sitting there on our asses. Now let's teach her a lesson and start this show. No, we're not going to badmouth her. I said, what's badmouth? Someone shows up late, you tell them they're late. She's holding up the whole production. Oh, it kills me, man. It kills me. TV wants to get away from anything that's real. If it's real, they're scared assless of it.
So what happened?
So Adam acquiesced.
We went back out there and
Did you ever say anything to her?
No,
I said, I'm pissed off, Drew. Go start the show.
No.
So you never, after all that, you never said anything to her?
No, I didn't say a thing to her because I wanted just to finish the show now, and I didn't want anyone stopping the cameras anymore. And I got to the point where we had another show or two more shows to do after that one. I went out there. I said, let's start the show. We had to restart the entire show. I went out and high-fived everyone and did a whole big BS Hollywood opening where I got going with the dog pound, and I high-fived everyone in the audience, and I told Drew how happy I was to be there. And then I told Drew I was pissed off and he could start the show, and we just started and just went right into it. And
she showed up.
Showed up right then anyway, and I just thought, you know what? I'm not getting into it because they'll stop the cameras again, and we're going to be here all day. I yelled
off the air. Did you say anything to her?
We didn't have any time with her off the air.
Didn't see her off the air. I went right back to our room, and she went to her thing, and it was just like it was over.
Any time at all?
Oh, I could have. I could have. No, I mean, I could have, confronted her or whatever. But the deal is she was late. She was a half hour late.
But it seems like you're really, really, really upset.
I wasn't upset at her. I was upset at everybody
for enabling it.
For my whole thing was she's late. She's Pam Anderson. Fine, let's start the show.
Right, but you just called her a bunch of bad names, so it seems like you're a little upset at her.
No, I don't have a beef with her. I really don't.
She was delightful.
She was fine on the show, and she's late to everything she goes to, and I understand that. And I swear to God, I don't blame her. Just like I don't blame like junkies. I just feel sorry for them. That's the way I feel.
You understand? This strikes a
I blame the dealers, not the junkies.
Sensitive chord for Adam, and that he believes that everyone in Hollywood should behave like employers and employees and people running a business, right?
You run your business like a business. If you're Pam Anderson's publicist, you pull her aside and say, hey, listen, you're showing up late to everything all the time. It's pissing a lot of people off. Let's see what we can do about that. I don't want to freak you out, but let's just, if the thing's 2 o'clock, show up at 2 o'clock. You understand? It's a business. You're plugging your show. They're helping you plug your show. That's it. Let's go. I mean, that's the deal.
And the producer's position was, she's got a million things ahead of this. She's been nice enough to come out. And Adam, shut the hell up. And of course, everybody knew once he got on the radio, there'd be
but like I said, do not blame Pam Anderson. Pam Anderson is nice.
You've used some derogatory terms about her.
Yeah, you should call
silicone
her.
bitch, I think was the term you used specifically.
Now you bring it up again.
Well, you just yelled it 5 minutes ago. So that's why I think there's something else.
I know, but to hear Drew say it really sounds worse, doesn't it? I was in the middle of a tirade.
Bad when you said it.
All right, listen. I got nothing against Pam Anderson.
Apologize to her.
No.
Yeah.
Well, listen. She was late. She is late.
Not for that part. For the tirade. All those.
Listen. She made us wait for 2 shows. I'm not going to apologize to her.
I know, not for
Okay.
being angry at
Would
being
you
late.
shut up,
All right.
Drew, and
Yeah.
stop kissing ass? Listen, I don't care if she comes on this show, so stop kissing ass.
All right.
Now listen to me. Nothing against her. I met her a couple times. We had her on here with Tommy. Tommy let me drive his car around the block afterward. She's a nice woman. She's late. That's all. Someone should tell her. That's my only thing with her.
That's right.
And my beef is her people and our people for not starting our show
Right.
and just making the point of, if you want to teach someone not to be late, you have some consequences. They show up late, they miss something. That's all. People don't have
I agree with that.
any balls, and they don't have any... This business is, and why do you think half the business, by the way, I was just watching the Chris Farley story tonight. Why do you think half the people just kill themselves ODing? People don't want to say anything. People don't want to say anything to anybody. Come on, Mike. Don't give me that puss. You know you do the same thing with Lycus. All right. We'll be back.
We'll actually take some calls when we get back.
We'll think about it.
All right.
This is Pamela Lee, and you're listening to Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Loveline with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Phone number's 1-800-LOVE-191.
We'll be right back.
Suck on this.
Loveline.
All of my most sensitive areas were inflamed.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
WEBN.
All right. There we go. Drew, can we take some calls, please?
Please.
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 Thank
Tiffany.
you. Tiffany.
Hey guys.
Oh, the update.
Yes.
Yeah, you're accused of killing your dad.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I called you guys about some really abusive relationships I'd been in,
Yeah.
and it was because of my father, and he had just got married 2 Novembers ago. It wasn't last November, November before.
Right.
And I had called when Adam and Dr. Bruce were on.
Okay.
And-
That gives you a reason for not remembering.
Yeah. But did you call back again after that?
No.
I
had
swear I remember
written
something
in
like this.
a
Written in.
couple months ago.
Here's the comedy. When we said Tiffany was giving us an update call of being accused of killing her dad, I said, I don't remember. And Drew said, yeah, I think I do remember. As it turns out, I was here and Drew wasn't. So we're both lying.
So what's the deal?
So on his wedding night, the night after his wedding, he had shot himself right in front of me and told me that it was my fault.
Oh, my God.
And I just got off trial for
Wait a minute. How did he tell you it was your fault after he shot
right
himself?
before he shot himself
Oh, okay. Where'd he shoot himself?
in the head.
Oh, so he killed himself.
Yeah,
Didn't anybody...
Told him, it said it was your fault
yeah.
to his own daughter?
I had driven him to it because I wasn't good enough and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but hold on a second, Tiffany. You know, there's... Not that it matters, but did he actually say that? Because there's a lot of, people that... My dad says I'm a loser. My dad's... But
Oh, yeah,
did he actually say to you, listen, you drive me, this is the reason I'm doing it, and then he pulled the trigger?
Yes, he told me that I wasn't good enough and that if I was better, he wouldn't have to do this.
And then he pulled the trigger.
And then it was my fault, and then he pulled the
Is he a
trigger.
drug addict?
No alcohol or drugs or anything. I think it's just, I don't know.
It's too bad he's not a publicist. He's dead, right?
Tiffany, has anybody, after this amazing experience, and amazing in the worst sense of the word, has anybody attempted to help you?
No, I'm too stubborn, and I wouldn't go get help. I just kind
Why?
of dealt with it on my own.
There is really no
Who,
dealing with stuff like this on your own.
You might as well deal...
Take your
with-
appendix out on your own.
Yeah, let's give yourself a pap smear while you're dealing with this.
Oh, God.
You can't deal with this on your own.
No, it's just like if I put it in the back of my mind, it doesn't bother me.
No,
It will get you. It has to bother you in some way. I mean, look, your father. Just the experience of I don't want to repeat it. I don't want to repeat what happened to you. It's so troubling. And then to be accused and go through a trial.
Well, what you were accused of murdering him?
Yeah, his wife that he had just married that day, because it was after his wedding. It was that night that he had done this.
Well, something really bizarre about this. He had to be on some meds, it's so.
It was a very unstable guy. I mean, this is not just hey, I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
This is altered.
Yeah.
He's always been very abusive and stuff like that. I mean, he's just...
Yeah.
Off the scale, I'm sure.
So what did he do to you? I mean, what kind of abuse?
Well, my mom and I moved out for about 2 years right before the divorce had happened because he had told us to get the guns out because we had hunting guns and the handguns, and he aimed them at us and loaded them.
Oh.
Right.
I mean, he's always been totally psychotic.
Yeah. Well, a good thing that he killed himself and didn't take a few people with him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tiffany, listen, I need 6 months therapy after just hearing this call.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to need some. I mean, please. Do you have a relationship now?
Yeah, I do. I've been in it for 3 months now, and he's totally awesome.
Really? Who's
Got
it?
me over the part to where, like,
Ted
if he
Nugent?
goes to touch my face or something, I don't jump 6 feet away from him.
That's good.
I mean, he's got me over a lot of it, but it's just like...
Oh, no.
it's stressful,
Listen.
But it's kept me from getting a job. I went through school and everything, and I got my EMT certification.
Great. You going to go work?
Yeah. I haven't been able to work.
Why? Why?
Because of this.
Well, I'm sure. But
It's either emergency medical technician or electromagnetic tubing, depending on what you do for a living.
Emergency medical technician.
Yeah, see, to me, it's the conduit.
I see.
And for the hypo and the hyper, all you have to do is go hypo is low. That's how you remember it.
Well, you
Hypo
mean,
sounds like low.
right.
Low.
And hyper sounds like,
Hyper is hyperactive, which
Right.
means you have more energy.
all right. All right, Tiffany,
Yes.
you got to get some therapy because this guy not only screwed you up in the
Before
beginning, the middle, and the very end. He left a nice legacy for you, something for you to, see when you close your eyes.
Maybe just some group work somewhere you can go and deal with this stuff and get some support. And
She sounds, relatively sane.
yeah, but it's not possible to be completely intact after that sort of amazing trauma.
Oh.
I mean, I'm delighted that she is, but whoa.
Could you imagine if your dad did that in front of you, Drew? I mean, having to step over him to go to the fridge. And I mean, you know what I'm saying, Drew? How upset you'd be.
How about him lining up all the kids and aiming guns at him? They're kids.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh boy. This guy had a couple boys too that are out causing a couple problems. Daisy.
Yes.
You're 29.
Oh, man.
All right. Yeah.
Surprise. Hey, how you guys doing?
Okay.
We're gonna have to go to break though now. We are.
Oh, man.
Should you continue to prosecute rapists?
Yes.
It's so hard on you.
He raped me twice.
2 times.
Two
Okay.
Them's betting words.
Yeah. We may have to do a little gambling on you, Daisy.
Little gambling?
Yeah. All right.
Can you figure me out?
Yeah, I think we'll get close. Drew's already got it. You want me to just give you the dollar, or should we actually just go through the ceremony
That's actually
of
better.
gambling?
Yeah.
All right, hang on there, Daisy. Mike wants us to take a break. I say we take more calls, but Engineer Mike, everybody, says we got to pay the man. So we'll be back.
My ass, Adam.
Thank you. With more LoveLine.
I feel so liquidy. Really? Why? You're listening to LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. LoveLine will be right back. WEBN.
WEBN. Radio that keeps you up at night. It's LoveLine, only on WEBN.
We got to take a little 10-second station identification top of the hour break, and we'll be right back with more Loveline in 10 seconds.
This is Loveline on
Radio
station.
We're the G spot on your radio dial.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Loveline on 102.7.
Oh.
WEBN, Cincinnati.
It's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Drew?
Yeah.
Remember, what's the first thing I announced when I came in here tonight?
Did you crash your plane?
No. What's the second thing I announced when I came in here
That
tonight?
you had something to get off your chest about Pam Anderson.
No. To you before the show started. What did I announce to you?
This just proves I don't listen to what the hell you're talking about.
10 minutes before the show started, what did I tell you?
Give me a hint.
Gas.
Oh, yeah. You did warn us. You warned Brad, actually, that the gas was going to be a serious issue tonight.
Yeah.
And I warned him that you'd probably be like, yeah, okay, all right.
That wasn't me. Brad? Young Brad.
Adam did point out the other day, though, that men fart at each other. So I expect if you start up.
The point is I had just hellacious gas all day today, and I came in here really ready to wreak havoc on you, Drew, and I made the mistake of taking a crap before the show started, and it's the toilet stole my thunder.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
And you're lucky you brought Brad in here, because otherwise you would have got... Oh, Ann was standing around. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I thought you were going to start lighting things up.
Oh, Ann. I blew a... I was going to say golden brown opportunity with Ann standing right here. Ann, it's because I respect you so much. Daisy?
Yes.
So you're 29. You were raped twice by the same guy.
Yes.
Okay, now hold on. We going to do some gambling, Drew?
Yeah, I have to change here.
You got some money?
This is good radio. Here, I've got a quarter. Here you go. I'm down a quarter.
You're so cheap. Drew threw 5 quarters out there and then dove on the 5th and squirreled it back into his pocket for fear that'd get $1.25. All right, there's your buck. There's my buck.
Who's first?
I'll go first. Sexual abuse. Who raped her? This guy raped her twice. Is it her boyfriend? Is it a date rape thing? She's 29. Got raped. Dad sexual abuse? Sexual abuse. Dad.
Okay.
All right.
Physical abuse, Dad.
Ooh. Toying with that.
I don't need to get more specific than that.
She's prosecuting. Okay.
And let's all right. Let's make some predictions about her sexuality. What was she like as a teenager?
Put out.
So wild as a teenager.
Yeah,
Sexual abuse.
I'll go,
all right. I'm gonna go physically abused and nothing as a teenager.
Ice. Okay. Maybe she went to high school with me.
Maybe triggered the
Good chance.
ice reaction.
Something in the drinking water in
Daisy.
San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
So.
It was actually my ex-husband / stepfather.
Your stepfather became your husband?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We may have to double down. What? Where's your dad?
My stepfather?
No, your dad.
Where's your dad?
My real dad? I have no idea.
How old were you when you lost him?
Well, my mother divorced him at 2.
When you were?
Because he was a psycho.
What did he do to you before you were 2?
My mom says that he kicked my crib and he tried to kill me.
Physically?
Physically.
Okay.
Not with his penis.
No.
You sure?
No, but the person that I'm trying to prosecute tried to.
And this was...
Tried to rape you.
Was this your stepfather husband?
Yes.
Who raped you before this guy, though?
Nobody, but I've had other abuse.
Sexual abuse?
Everything.
Who sexually abused you?
My stepfather.
Starting at what age?
Incest and everything.
Starting at what age?
13.
All right, hold on. Let me argue with Drew for a second.
Wait.
In this instance, I think the stepfather becomes the father. Here's why. I
think because the physical abuse became first, I win. I think it's a push.
Okay. We're arguing. I mean, yeah, okay. The primary male role is what we're trying to figure out. What did he do? Did he beat her or did he F her?
He beat her, and then another one came in after.
Yeah, but that was 2. That don't affect anybody.
Yeah, right.
Kids, besides, when you're 1.5, you're kind of asking for it.
No, he didn't beat me. He didn't beat me, but he
Sexually abused you.
He sexually abused me, and he psychologically screwed me up.
And then you.
This was your stepdad.
Yes.
Now, when did he come onto the scene? How old were you?
9 years old.
9 years old. And when did the physical relationship began at 13?
Yeah.
And then when did you marry him?
Well, who could say no to all that?
No, it wasn't just that. I mean, my mom, said, okay, stay out of my life. You know, at the age of 10, you're on your own. Go to school, do your homework, just don't bother me. And I said, fine, okay, I'll do it, And I did it. I basically took care of myself until he came along, and then he took care of the rest.
And when did you marry him?
I married him, guilt, mostly.
When? How old were you?
What age is guilt?
Let's see, when did I marry him?
Roughly.
91?
And you're now 29, so
you can't spit out an age, by the way. I mean,
21, let's say. 2021.
Yeah,
let me try a quick test for Drew. How old were you when you graduated high school?
17.
Mm-hmm. When you got married?
21.
32.
Okay. See, there you go.
33.
Real easy. All right, so Daisy, you married the guy when you're, what was she, 47? I got to do the math
21.
here. 21, you married him.
So
why'd you marry him?
Why? To this day, I still ask the question, why.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then the same guy.
Well, I mean, he kept telling me that I had to keep the promise. Because he said that if I divorced when he divorced my mom, he was going to marry me at 17.
Yeah. Your mom's a real gem, by the way.
Yeah,
she marries Mr. Abuser, kicks him out when you're 2, and then finds his brother.
She went to
brings in
AA
like
and found this guy.
Yeah.
And then brought him to my grandfather's house, which he wasn't too pleased.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Everything
don't worry. Whenever you think about how much you hate your mom because what she did to you and how she ruined your childhood, just go ahead and sleep like a baby because someone did something to her when she was a kid.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Her alcoholic dad.
Her alcoholic grandpa, your grandpa, somebody abused her.
But the question is now is that he's gone out of my life, and I just want to know, should I stop him from doing this to somebody else? Because I don't want him victimizing somebody else.
Well, look.
I don't want them being as screwed up as I feel.
Yeah. You first and foremost need to focus on yourself and getting yourself healed as much as possible from all this. If there is action that somebody's advising you to take, it's going to be a very personal decision about what you should do. Certainly, it's nice.
He raped you while you were married?
Yeah. He got totally...
You're probably not going to receive much satisfaction, I would expect.
Did you press...
It's not satisfaction for me. It's
I understand. Did you press charges on his behalf or against him?
When that happened?
Not right away.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to...
Yeah, I know that. But, I mean, it was just the fear, because he used to threaten me.
Here's an idea. I mean, it seems like you have a need to be of service to other people as a result of what you've been through.
Because I don't want that happening.
Why don't you go through a process of healing, get involved in some sort of rape help group, and ultimately yourself then help other women who've been through this sort of thing?
Boy.
I mean, if you really need to do that kind of thing, that's a way to be of service and to help be helped.
Therapies, I mean, I've gone to a rape harassment place, and to me, it felt like going to the doctors. Like, oh no, I'm going to get the shot,
Well,
it's not going to feel good.
You're not going to want to go, believe me. Believe me, but go. You have to.
I've been once. Let's just
well, if you've been once, that'll do it.
You're going to need to go regularly for years.
Yeah.
And then you can begin to be of service to someone else.
Yeah.
You have any kids?
No, thank you.
Oh, Daisy, yes.
I've got myself totally, I mean, I've had some,
An abortion?
No, just other men, just like...
Yeah, don't ever get pregnant.
Actually, I had a triangle going on for a while, and...
Well, listen, Daisy, you're gonna head towards chaos. That's gonna be your natural direction.
That's pretty much my middle name is Chaos.
I know, but it's time to end that.
You a religious woman at all, Daisy?
No, but my mother is.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
She's clearly
well, listen, I'm a devout Christian, as you know, Drew. And I know that God will deal with this man very harshly, and that he will never get away with this again.
Well, but you know
you
what?
understand how the Lord works?
But you know what?
You think the Lord would let this guy victimize another woman? Do you, Drew? Honestly, not the Lord.
But
do you think?
But you know,
or do you think he may rape another 8 chicks before he dies of old age?
I think something will happen to him. People like this don't live long lives. This crap happens to them. It does. I mean, it's a fact.
It's got a plan.
Yeah. You know, I was watching some television show today, and this guy was walking around. He goes, and look in this house. He goes in here. We interviews this woman. She has 6 children. She works a job at night, and the kids live on the floor on a mattress. And in the next room, and here's Joni. She has 6 kids or 8 kids, and they're all living it. And the argument was, why aren't we giving more money to these hardworking women? Nobody ever said, why don't we put these men in jail, if the fathers, if they don't come in here and support these kids? Or why do these people have all these kids? Ever. Never comes up.
Drew, please.
Never comes up.
Stop playing God. Stop playing God. Let me tell you something about God. God doesn't play God anymore, you idiots. If God would start playing God, I wouldn't have to play God. Let me tell you what God should do, providing there is one, and I'm telling you there isn't. As God is my witness, there's no God. But let me tell you something about God, everybody. If God was doing his goddamn job, he'd not let these women who were living well beneath the poverty level, who were strung out on crack, who were on heroin, who did not have a man and not have a stable environment, have their 6th kid. God would, by the way, not let rapists go on to rape again and victimize again. God would not let people like Daisy, who'd been horribly abused their entire life, continue to be horribly abused in their adult life. Let me tell you about God's plan. I got 2 scenarios for God's plan. Either it's the worst goddamn plan I've ever heard in my effing life, or there's no plan, you idiots, because there's no God. So, therefore, because there's no God, I'm going to have to step in and fill God's big sandals. And I'm going to have to send these people the NOR plan. Get them to stop having all these crappy kids they can't take care of, and we got to take care of. And here's my plan. Instead of sending over food, let's send over some birth control. Please. You idiots. Why doesn't the news ever talk about this? Oh, you know why? Because the second you start talking about anything, it turns into a racial thing. Oh, the chick's black, she has 5 kids. The chick's Mexican, she has 5 kids. You can't talk about it. Forget about the ethnicity. You just bring it up. 5 kids and no money? We're going to put an end to it. I don't care if you're Martian. I don't care. It's not an ethnic thing. Whatever it is, that's the law. Speeding, speed limit, I don't care if you're Eskimo or Chinese, it's 55 miles an hour. That's it. Same thing. You can't have kids if you don't have money and you're already on state assistance. That's it. I don't care what color you are.
But holding the men more accountable, that's the other part. I mean, if we had laws that forced men to be accountable.
I just want to start killing them. Mike, you're 17.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
I'm playing God.
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, my girlfriend claims that she's noticed a difference in me, like sexually, because I smoke weed, right? Like kind of a lot.
Well, that will definitely change your sexual functioning. I mean, it'll raise the estrogen level. It can actually cause your breast to grow at your age.
Oh,
and it can affect your various ways affect your level of arousal.
There's a lot of skinny stoners out there. Remember that Spicoli from Fast Times?
But I'm just saying, it would be a predictable response to daily pot for 6 months.
Right. What about the actual size, though?
Yeah, because your estrogen levels go up, testosterone levels go down. That can do that.
Right.
You're really bumming us high.
It's not the fact that I didn't believe her or anything. It's just the fact that, I didn't notice it myself. And I thought maybe she was just using that as an excuse or something else.
Well, hold on.
Maybe she is.
True. What's going to cause the male breast to grow faster? Pot or corn dogs?
Pot.
No.
Pot.
You put weight on, your breasts are going to start growing.
No, most of the ones I've seen have been skinny guys.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Well,
because they're the ones that complain. Yeah, they're the ones that.
That's bad.
Yeah,
that don't look good.
Yeah.
Guy with a big guy, you almost expect a little.
They don't
cleavage.
complain. They don't come in complaining about it.
Mike, you skinny?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm on the thin side.
Yeah, but you're not on the Pritikin diet or anything, are you?
No, I'm not like that.
You eat a lot of junk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have alcoholic in your family somewhere? grandpa?
Yeah, my grandparents were on my mother's side.
Yeah, that's what you got, Mike. And this is how that's expressing itself.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so keep an eye on it. It's a real thing.
Yeah. I was watching that Chris Farley story today on the E! True Hollywood Story. It's the only show I watch.
Hey, man, you never miss a one.
I never miss a one.
So go ahead. What happened in it?
I never miss a one.
I know.
Well, usually, I have my schedule pretty laid out on Sunday.
Yeah.
I get up at 7. I go search for my plane in a field for about 4 hours.
It's every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
Then I go to local church where I'm playing God, of course. I play God for a while. I get tired of that. Fake beard. I swear I got to get a rash off that fake beard. Then I go home and I take a nap. And then God masturbates usually. And then I watch football, and then I'm always home every Sunday night at 8 o'clock because I come in here. I mean, you're never anywhere at 8 o'clock on a Sunday, are you?
The hospital, if anywhere.
Sitting home in front of the TV.
Yeah.
And there it is, that E! True Hollywood Story. And I cannot get enough of that. And the 2-hour ones I got to cut out on, but I tape the last hour. Of course, I have to have the TV on and the tape still running when I get home because God can't figure out the timer on the VCR. But watch that Chris Farley story. Oh, yeah.
About addiction and how it works.
Yes. Oh, man. There was a guy just hell-bent. Just hell-bent on exploding.
And interesting how now they tell the story. When he's alive, nobody can talk about it.
Well, he had a publicist. Publicists can't let that kind of stuff come out, can you? So you put him on a show and you talk about nothing. Let's talk about Black Sheep or Beverly Hills Ninja. Does that seem like an important topic now?
This is exactly why
a year after the guy's in the ground, what do you think would have been a more important topic to discuss when he was on Leno? Sobriety or Beverly Hills Ninja?
It's exactly why I'm dying to have a talk show, just to put those people on and really take things apart a little bit.
Right. But there has to be some entertainment value, Drew. You understand?
I know, but they'll break down and cry.
No. Listen, they won't put a show on that talks about something real. You can't sell that to the idiots.
I'm just thinking. Think about it. Out there, there's people that you can talk about political stories. Politics. You can talk about, again, it's all about stories.
Right.
It's stories, but no substance beneath them.
Right. No players.
Yeah.
Lucas.
Yeah.
You're 36.
Good evening, Adam. Good evening, Drew.
Hey.
Hey, I was wondering about the psilocybin mushrooms, whether they harm the liver or not.
I've heard of things like that happening, but I've never seen any cases of it.
Because I know that mushrooms in general are toxic to the liver, and I was wondering if psilocybin was...
Not the way like Amanita phalloides would be in these sorts of highly toxic mushrooms.
Well,
but
the real liver damage comes when you get drunk, disoriented, and you fall down on a sprinkler on your high school lawn.
Right.
That's where the real damage comes because you can poke yourself right in the liver.
Yeah. Hey, I had another question.
Right now. Okay, yeah, Lucas. What's up?
How many mushrooms do you take?
I never go above like a gram.
How often do you take it?
I've done it about maybe twice in the last month.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Let me tell you the thing about mushrooms, Drew. You got to figure out how much to take.
Yeah.
It's not really a science. I mean, when you look at mushrooms, you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't know the potency of the mushrooms. So if you no, don't go woof. You'd probably have a good time. But listen, you'd really then I'd really be God. But here's
I think you might turn red and grow horns.
Here's the deal, Drew. If you don't take enough, you don't really get off. You just sort of you don't see anything. And if you take too much, you'll freak out for a day. So there's a balance to strike.
That's what I'm saying.
And it tastes bad too. Tastes like.
What's your other question, Lucas?
I had a question about estrogen mimickers. I was reading a book that talks about like PCBs and pesticides and growth stimulants that are fed to livestock.
Yeah.
And they're saying that really small amounts of these chemicals can cause really significant changes in development, sexual development of fetuses and things like that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering if, on a larger scale, since like PCBs are found all over the world in the Arctic and in every woman's breast milk, I was wondering if these could be responsible for like broader effects in society, like difficulty in conception and increased rates of homosexuality and sexual dysfunction.
Ooh.
And
not a bad fun. Yeah, all the gays consume McDonald's.
So I mean, the sweeping question you're asking is, could we find some chemical reason for the current state of decay of our civilization?
Be nice. Yeah, I blamed their Wiener Schnitzel personally. It's their chili size.
Because it's only in the last 50 years that these chemicals have been around.
Well, it's interesting, but you see, first off, here's what people would come back at you with from an argument standpoint. There's always been gays around, and just because we happen to be talking about it more doesn't necessarily mean there's more. So how would you explain all the gays in the 16th century? I mean, obviously they didn't have a bovine growth hormone back then.
Well, I think the percentage is higher now, though.
It may be, but we don't know that, and I don't know that we have any way of really documenting that. I mean, if you looked back 100 years, I don't know if you could document that because it was so stigmatized that people wouldn't talk about it, and so there was no way of telling except for like Oscar Wilde.
Right.
I mean, anyone involved with the theater, I think it's safe to say, except for John Wilkes Booth, because he actually assassinated somebody, so he's off the list.
But if you look at society in general, it seems to have sort of feminized over the last 34 years with women becoming more aggressive.
Yeah, but
so then why aren't women being feminized more instead of becoming more aggressive?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't it affect women differently? I mean, when they get estrogen, doesn't it make them...
It makes them more passive and more receptive.
It does?
Yes.
We got to start. I'm going to work that in along with the birth control and the drinking water supply.
Adam, can I get a little bit of the Russian rapper when you have a chance?
Oh, yeah.
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 And Dingo Boy.
Oh, boy. That's true. Thanks, Lucas. All right, I'll write that down. The show, we've taken 2.5 calls tonight, and it's been just me yapping. I do extra yapping on Sunday because I got a weekend full of stuff to get out.
And a whole day of TV stuff.
Yeah, I know Ann doesn't like it.
Makes her crazy. I
got one the only radio producers in the country that doesn't like it when I yap.
No, you understand? She produces a talk show and doesn't want you to talk. What does that tell you about you?
That's not true.
She's not fond of the yapping part of the talk show.
I think you're very funny, Adam.
Oh, God bless you, Ann. I know. We're supposed to take calls.
It wouldn't be fun if I just sat here and smiled and laughed at everything you said, right?
That's true. You should play solitaire on the computer. What are you playing on the computer, Ann?
Solitaire.
Oh, wow.
No.
You are my teacher.
All right. Yeah, we're going to take a break. Drew, who are we talking to when we come back?
Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
What's she want?
It's the second time she's been into a friend of her ex's. Is she simply seeking drama?
Okay. We'll be back.
Oh, yeah. Everybody now. LoveLine, I'll be right back. WEBN.
For the erotic pleasures of women.
It's LoveLine.
WEBN.
Hi, I'm Robin Leach with those champagne wishes and caviar dreams. And you're listening to LoveLine with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Oh, thank you. I just heard the Corolla part, but I'm guessing that's Robin Leach?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's he selling now? Robin Leach rolled in with, remember he's wearing he was wearing that Tournament of the Masters, bright green blazer.
Right, and a Monte Cristo cigar.
I was making fun of him the whole time.
Yeah.
Seemed like a nice guy. Oh, yeah. That is the lifestyle. You know, now that we're getting a little celebrity, I wish you still had that lifestyle, the rich and famous thing on.
Oh, but for crying out loud, they would never put us on it.
Well, yeah, but who knows? Maybe in a couple of years when I really do something. You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen the celebrities on those things?
Yeah, they don't have good stuff.
Yeah, B level at best.
On lifestyles?
Yeah.
Yet they seem to do better than you or I.
He plays Dr. Dex Dexler in One Life to Live.
Exactly.
He's been on the show 3.5 weeks. He's just gotten married for the 3rd time, and him and his wife are vacationing in Acapulco. Here they are going down a slide, drinking a hollowed-out coconut with rum in it. Yeah, they don't have they never had big stars on that. It was great. And so, and what they do, I guess, is they just send you on this amazing vacation.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they'd send you to Fiji, and all you'd have to do is let them, film you in your bathing suit for a couple minutes by the pool and talk about how free it is when you're walking on the beach, how this is no place like, there's no other place. There's usually a few raps. There's no other place like this. It's a real feeling of freedom when you're sailing. So wait a minute. You're saying like if you were locked in a cinder block bunker, it would be different than being out on the open sea with the wind in your hair?
Shocking.
Which one's the feeling of freedom? I got confused now. How'd that go? The celebrities are great. We got to ask them about everything. Hey, what's it like to be in a tropical paradise in your bathing suit, swimming in crystal clear water? It's great. Fantastic. They really ought to just get idiots from the valley. I mean, they'd really get excited about it. And it's great, too. Celebrity women, turns out, like to be pampered. They go in for a nice sea salt rub. Then they put some, the cucumber over their eyes, and some guy works them over. I'm always trying to catch a little boob, when they take the towel off and lie on their belly. Nicole?
Oh, God.
Dr. Drew.
Yes.
Corolla, good evening.
Hey.
Nicole, what's up?
Thank you so much for letting us know about Vancouver and Washington's morning after pill being legalized. I was able to get all my girlfriends for Christmas
Wow.
that gift.
Congratulations.
Great.
Nicole?
Your advice, have it by the bedstand.
God bless you, Nicole.
Yeah.
Vancouver's got it too, huh?
Yes, it's legal in Vancouver, which makes it nice for people who live in Oregon just to drive on up there and set up.
Wait a minute.
We got to get a map, but
explain that statement to me. Vancouver, Washington
is in Washington.
I see. I think Vancouver is in Canada.
Sorry, no, not Vancouver, BC.
I see.
Oh, there's a Vancouver, Washington?
That must be near the Oregon border.
There is. I apologize.
Hold on. I swear to God, one day I'm coming in with a list, and I'm going to straighten everyone out on this
two-city name
BS. I mean, when you're talking, if you go to L.A. and say you're from Vancouver, what do you got about it? 99 to 100% of people think you're from Canada,
100%.
Right? 100%. You're from Canada. You're from Vancouver. You're from Canada. And when we were in northern Illinois, and we told them we were going to Austin, they thought we were going to Austin, Minnesota. Everybody. Now, Austin, to me, is Austin, Texas, and there's 500 examples of these things where there's two cities with the same name, and it makes no sense at all to me. It can do nothing but confuse people. When I'm in charge, I'm going to pick the biggest city, and the other one's going to be called Aceburg. Okay. So anyway, Nicole.
Yes.
Now that we're past that confusion, you went and bought those the morning after pill for your friends.
I did.
Yeah.
Did you get the Prevens package?
I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not positive.
It comes with a pregnancy test already in it and all that stuff.
It was a good size package, and I just wrapped it up and gave it to all of them.
For you, that's great.
Yeah. So I kind of have a morality question. I have.
Good thing we have God here on hand tonight.
Let me hit the thing. Yes, my child?
Well, Adam, you are God.
Thank you.
It has to be that way. I dated a man for a year, and am still very good friends with him, as I am with most of my ex-boyfriends. I value the relationship, and I don't feel that just because, the romantic side of a best friendship falls apart doesn't mean that the best friendship needs to.
That's something that Adam and I have never subscribed to.
Really?
That's known in heaven as retarded logic.
That's awesome. awful. That's awful. That doesn't.
You know what? I think that's.
I don't blame you, my child. I do not spend as much time on the women's brain as I did on the male brain.
I do think that's something that women.
I focused on the ass.
Oh my God. I do think it's something that women do better than men, which is to sustain intimacies over time. Men get very sort of digital with that stuff. But go ahead. What's your question?
My question is that I have become good friends with his friends, and for the second time now, I have become very attracted to and wish to date a friend of his. And I'm concerned that I'm just creating drama in my life.
Do you create drama when you date these guys?
I have had that in the past, but it isn't my focus. I don't.
What is? No. I mean, have you dated any of his friends before?
Yes, one
and
other.
Did that create conflict?
For a short period of time, it did, and then we were able to work it out.
How long after you had left him did that episode happen?
About 4 or 5 months.
And how long has it been now since you've dated him?
2 years.
I don't think it's a big problem. And to me, if you are generally drawn to chaos, that's one thing. But to be attracted to people that are friends together, I mean, that makes sense to me. That people of like personality structure and interests and things tend to congregate together. So it makes sense you'd be attracted to people from the same group.
Nicole, this is God. I hope you have a handbasket handy because you'll need it for your trip to hell.
Well, at least I'll be with friends and family.
Oh, yes. More friends and more family members than you know. Remember your cat that died 4 years ago? In hell. Too much clawing on the furniture, you know, Drew.
Should I be concerned at all if either of the ex-boyfriends have still residual feelings at all?
Yes.
Either of the ex. You mean the one you dated previously and then the first one, right?
Correct.
Yes, you should be concerned. I mean, you need sort of boundaries in every relationship, particularly close relationships like this, and especially since you say you value their friendships now that they're no longer boyfriends.
Incredibly.
Yeah, so you got to be very sensitive to this stuff. Men are a little bit overly preoccupied about their territory, and they might have some feelings about this more than you would predict.
All right, let's wrap this up. I have to help Michael Jordan get another endorsement.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, Nicole. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night. See,
that's how God works, Drew. I think that's my plan with him. He only recognizes a handful of guys. He spends all his time with them.
Maybe that's how it works.
Going to help Michael Jordan get another couple mil in the bank.
You've never been one of those guys, so maybe that's the whole deal here.
I'm feeling neglected, and I'm lashing out. He's got a plan, though, I'll tell you that. Let's get this morning after. And by the way, let's go ahead and spend, all that time. Drew was just saying you watch late night TV and everyone wants money for everyone and their kid. Why don't you just run a PSA for this morning after pill? Can't we nip this in the bud? I don't understand it. We understand, by the way, like I've explained before, and every other, when it comes to any form of eradication or pest control, we understand it very well. Like, when the fruit fly comes in, or a host of other varmints that wreak havoc on the agricultural products of this, especially Southern California or California. What do? What do they do? Do they give everyone an extra large set of boots and send them out in the field to crush each one of them? No, they go right for the reproductive stuff. They take these sterile ones, they release them into the swarm, and they sterilize the whole thing because they know the best way to stop this is to stop the growth. That's it. Stop the growth, everybody. It's real easy. Luke.
Hi.
You're 22.
You guys rock, man.
Thanks.
Well, I got a I have a problem. I'm uncircumcised, and my penis, when not erect, is only about 3 inches long.
That's a small problem.
Yeah.
You're uncircumcised?
I'm not circumcised. What happens, though, is when I get erect...
Why does everyone got to screw with you on this show so you got to think a little extra longer? You're uncircumcised?
Yeah, I'm uncircumcised.
I'm not circumcised.
I'm not circumcised.
Now my brain's got to go... I got to process that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I'm confused.
Yeah. Well, I'm not circumcised. When I get erect, I get to about, I guess, an average size would be about 8 inches.
No.
So
No, you've been hanging out in the ghetto too long, Luke. That is not the average size.
well, I mean that's
Please, I kill myself tonight.
well, that's about what I get. I mean, it's but the problem is.
Wait a minute, you get 8 inches?
Well, see when I'm not erect, it's only about 3, and then when I get erect, it's about I guess 8. I mean.
What do you mean you guess 8?
Well, I've never measured.
All right. Well, if you never measure, why don't you just guess 14 then?
And what difference does it make when it's flaccid? Why is that an issue?
What do you need it
Well, the
for?
problem is that when I'm in a locker room or something, I mean, it's kind of have to wait till everybody gets dressed and stuff.
Hold on a second. Let me talk to Drew for a second. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and translate. Luke's got the metric side of the yardstick turned up, and he's missing some key calculations. 3 inches, y'all. That's 3 inches in between my fingers. Your fingers are about 3 inches, approximately. And as everyone knows, if you put one of your fingers and you hung it off, you put a little girth on it, and you walked around a locker, that's fine. That's average. So 3 inches flaccid is absolutely acceptable, and you would not be embarrassed to walk around the locker room at 3 inches flaccid. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that down to about 1 3/4 inch, 1.5 inches. 8 inches seems a little big for a guy with 1 3/4 inch penis when it's flaccid, so I'm going to knock that down to about 5.5.
Okay.
Which he thinks is average, which is average, but he thought 8 was average, and the reality is that about 5.5 is average, so I'm going to make it 5.5.
Okay.
So I got 1 3/4 inches, maybe 1 7/8 inches, but weak, little weak 1 7/8 inches, flaccid, and I got him about 5.5.
Now that we've done the math, let's go to break.
Yeah.
And return.
What do we need to talk to him for?
He didn't ask a question yet.
He doesn't have a question. Luke?
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, well, I was thinking if I cut off a little bit of it, if I got circumcised, would that grow? Would it continue? Would it grow?
No. This is what I was going to get at with Luke, which is there's some worth issues here and that sort of thing going on. And nothing's going to grow. You're 22. What you got is what you've got.
Okay, Dr. Dre, I have one more question, though, too. When I pull back on the foreskin, it's attached to the head. Is that the way it's supposed to be?
You mean it won't come out? The head won't come out?
When you pull back on the foreskin, the head starts pointing down because it's attached.
Yeah,
but can you get your head through it, like trying to poke your head through a turtleneck sweater?
Yeah.
All right, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. All right, then.
Luke?
Yeah. A lot of feelings there about himself.
Here's what I'd like you to do.
A lot of stuff going on there.
I'd like you to go back to your high school.
Uh-huh.
I'd like you to find your health teacher.
Uh-huh.
I'd like you to kick him in the nuts. Okay, because you didn't learn a goddamn thing from him.
Well, no. See, you come from a Hispanic background too. You don't get a.
No kidding.
You don't talk to parents about that.
Yeah, but you
better talk to somebody.
You're very concerned about these things, and usually that translates into some issues of your own self-worth more than your own.
Don't freak the guy out.
Well,
listen, you're fine there,
No,
Luke.
I know, but it's just. I mean, part of it is self-worth. I mean,
that's the whole.
I understand. You're a good guy,
Luke.
Luke.
Just a symbol for that.
Luke, your penis is fine. You're fine. Just investigate it a little more.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thinks the foreskin's a hindrance. Hey, Drew.
Keeps it from growing.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If I shave my scalp off, you think I'd grow about another foot?
Yeah, just shave your head off. Yeah.
Yeah, just take the skin part off the top of my head.
Sure, that happens.
I think it's kind of holding me back. As a matter of fact, I think my fingertips are holding my fingers. I think I should be able to palm a basketball, but I can't. But I'm convinced if I just went ahead and clipped the end of my fingers, I'd come out I'd be looking like an alien. I'd be like a pterodactyl or something. I'd be able to pick up guys from their head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scissor hands.
All right, we'll be back.
LoveLine will be right back.
Oh, yeah, right there. It's LoveLine on WEBN.
Hey, LoveLine. And for all that's Dr. Drew over there. Bad Religion is going to be in here tomorrow. All right. Drew?
Yeah.
Who you got picked out there? Sam?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Oh, hi, guys. Well, I read this article in The Economist, and it recommended this book called Drug Crazy, which is a history of the U.S.'s attitude towards drugs, with like the war on drugs, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. You don't have to explain. I'm sure most of our viewers and listeners read The Economist. I think I once did an informal survey. I think it was The Economist.
80%?
It was the Economist and Christian Science
National
Monitor
Review.
and the National Review were the main publications.
Because it's really a great magazine.
Actually, that and High Times, I think, were amongst the top 5. But anyway.
So anyway, it's a really great book about just how crazy the drug war is, et cetera, et cetera. But it had one interesting point. It makes a lot of points that you guys have made in the past. Yeah. But the one point it talks about is these British, and it used to be in Britain that doctors were able to prescribe pretty much any drug they wanted, including heroin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Putney Reader, I think, being the 5th on the top 5.
But so my question is basically, they point out that this was a very effective in that only 5. It said like 5% of actual people who go through detoxification, et cetera, actually get off the addiction per year.
Per year. That's about right. Per year.
Yeah, and then they talk about how this was an effective way to have them be productive and actually live their lives. And
I would rather have.
You're talking about heroin specifically?
Well, it was talking about heroin.
Oh, I got a fart. Hold on.
For Christ's sake.
It was pretty much. They talk about methadone and saying how methadone, as Dr. Drew has said on many occasions,
it's worse.
Is more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I'd rather see doctors prescribing heroin. I think we ought to personally, I think we ought to at least rethink the Harrison Act.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to get into discussions about legalization of marijuana and whatnot, I think we ought to take the whole thing on.
Yeah, I mean, after reading this book, like it's really amazing what the things that happen to cause this weird drug policy that the U.S. has, and how much there would be a small problem that they tried to fix that would cause, and the solution would cause a much larger problem. So it's a very interesting book.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I see my whole problem is making something. Is that smell, Drew?
Yeah,
that's good. Brad, you getting some of that? Speaking of things that should be made illegal.
What is that impulse? First thing to do, Ann, come here.
Oh, that was a good one. And not as good as what I've been doing. Here's the thing. Why, just because something is legal does not mean we condone it. Do you know what I mean? I hate that argument that everything that is legal means the president gets behind it 100% and the Americans get behind it 100%. There's many things in this country that we're not fond of that are legal that we don't necessarily condone. And, prostitution, drugs, whatever, alcohol, the cigarettes, it's all things that people aren't proud to do, but they're a reality of life. People are going to do them. And here's my whole feeling with drugs in general. If you want to destroy your life with heroin, that's your decision. But please, let me keep my car stereo.
Well,
I don't do heroin. Can I have my goddamn car stereo, please?
That goes to one of the key issues in all this is that prohibition tends to do nothing except fuel a crime syndicate.
Yeah, and it said, according to the book, that one of the turning points in the drug war was when the government started hassling doctors, because even the United States doctors were able to prescribe things like heroin, et cetera, et cetera. At the time, they thought it was pretty innocuous, like cocaine. They thought was not a big deal.
Right.
But then it was a very unprecedented thing when the U.S. government started hassling doctors who tried to do this.
Please, the government hassles us on everything.
Right. The government spends way too much time hassling a certain segment of society and not enough time hassling
it consistently makes
the people they need to hassle.
Yeah, it consistently makes the good guys bad guys. I mean, that's the whole thing. They've lost track of who is okay and who isn't now. Everybody's bad guy.
Yeah, they got so much energy into people, into parking enforcement and secondhand smoke. They can't find deadbeat dads.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, here is the bottom. Man, I almost just used the F word there. But Sam, here is the bottom line. If you want to stop the drugs, you have to stop giving birth to people that want to do drugs.
Well, to screwed up families.
Screwed up people who need to do drugs are going to do drugs.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. I mean, that is just the God's honest. When you really want to do drugs, you're going to find drugs and do drugs.
And even me, who believes strongly that there's a profound biological component to this, even I believe that screwed up family is what really fuels the whole thing.
Yes.
This biology is containable given a psychologically healthy individual, or that's a little too pejorative, but a stable person without a chaotic background.
You want to put an end to everything. You want to put an end to domestic abuse. You want to put an end to homicide. You want to put an end to theft. You want to put an end to bank fraud, or phone fraud. You want to put an end to everything. You want to put an end to...
This has been LoveLine. The views expressed on LoveLine are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. And are probably not the views of Westwood One Entertainment. LoveLine is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingle. Now, please listen to this station longer.